Sebring was the first track that I ever drove on. I went for a pass on the right side. He did not see me, and I felt like I didn't have anywhere to go other than the curb on my right. And it ruined the dynamics of the rear end. My confidence as a driver is, I feel like it's unique. I don't necessarily view myself as better than anyone else or as a better driver, but I think that each driver has unique traits that give them an advantage in any given scenario. Everything has to do with the recipe, right? Everything adds up and everything compares. Everyone's in a different situation. Everyone has different teams, different financials, different co-drivers, right? So I think a matter of like what I think of my competition, I don't really have thoughts on them. I just kind of observe what they do and where they are.
No better place to start the 12th season of Lamborghini Super Trofeo than right here, Sebring International Raceway, a racetrack that has it all. It has history, fast corners, slow corners, strategy comes into play here, drafting, you name it. What else does it have? Well, it has the bumps. Respect the bumps at Sebring is what everyone always says. Right now, a record field of Lamborghini Huracan Super Trofeo Evos about to take to the circuit. Sebring right in the heart of Florida, right in the center, and they have been racing sports cars here on this airport circuit since 1950.
This weekend, there was a ton of supporters there, from the Fast Star Media crew to my whole team and MLT Motorsports, and then my friends, my family's friends, everyone that came out to support. It was awesome seeing everyone there. So many amazing faces. But yeah, like having people there watching definitely adds a little bit of anxiety, right? You want to perform, you want to put on a good show for them. But at the same time, there's a sense of security because you know you're around the people that you love, that you care about, and that want to see you succeed.
But that's what we do.
Race one, I remember Luke, I think he qualified up to P10 or maybe even higher overall. So I remember he had a pretty good qualifying performance. Luke had a very strong start at the beginning and he gained a couple positions. He had pretty consistent driving. Into turn 7, he was in a battle with another vehicle and he misjudged a gap and rear-ended the car in front of him. Unfortunately for us, that resulted in a drive-through penalty after the driver change. So Luke finished the duration of his stint, and whenever I got in the car, I had to go out and come back around and drive through and serve the penalty.
Driver ID!
From there, through race 1, we were pretty far back in the pack. We were dead last in class, and we were just fighting to gain positions from there. Spent time closing a multiple second gap on the car in front of me, and on the final lap the car ahead spun on the last corner. I was pressuring him for a couple corners before. Cautious because I could see that his car was loose and he looked like he was close to making a mistake. He had a couple big slides beforehand. So I tried to keep my distance, but coming into 17 on the final lap, I had no choice but to pressure him. And coming over the bumps under the bridge of 17, he misjudged his angle and completely spun in front of me. I tried my best to react and avoid the incident, but unfortunately he ended up backing up into me and hitting the rear right corner of the car. I was able to walk away with the position and with the car finishing the race perfectly fine. It was just a minor ding to the wheel and it bent it, but very minor impact, and happy to walk away from that race in P9 instead of last.
Can I put this here?
Yep. I'm heading to the pits. Anybody?
Yeah, we're gonna walk. We're gonna stay here with him and we'll walk over. Thank you.
Do it. First start, dude. You got this.
Yeah, I kind of know what to expect. It's not my first IMSA start,
Yeah.
so it's gonna be rowdy, I'm assuming.
Listen, yeah, I was actually pleasantly surprised. Yes, because always the first race there, it's a mess. And then the second day, everybody saw how it went down, so they stopped. The second day, they all back off. Yeah. So they're all like Trojan horses on the first race. So I think you'll be in better shape today than starting on the first day. That's for sure.
Just get through 7.
Yeah.
7? Why? What's going on with 7?
Just once you get through 7.
It's a big funnel
everybody-
Oh, yeah,
everybody's
yeah.
Still cold.
and deep brake zone.
Listen, I was very
You get
happy
through
yesterday
7,
with the
it'll
start.
spread out some.
Yep.
Oh yeah, they had like 4 or 5 cars on track right there first lap.
Looking out at a very crowded infield, Sebring International Raceway. Welcome in, everyone, for IMSA's Lamborghini Super Trofeo North America Series. Race number 2 of the 2024 season, and race number 2 here at Sebring. All the cars lined up and ready to go. And the field now following the Lamborghini's safety car onto the racetrack.
At the start of the race, I made sure that I was very precise when warming up my tires. I wanted to make sure that nothing could go wrong, that I was covering all my angles, and I was pretty anxious for the start, but I really was just ready to get driving. Onto the green, I made sure I was super close to the person in front of me. I saw the drop of the green flag and I was immediately foot to the floor. And less than half a second later, the car in front of me was full brake pressure, slamming on his brakes. I slammed on my brakes, and before I knew it, I was hit really hard in the rear and kind of lifted up. Just being pretty annoyed that I was just rear-ended at the start of a race. And yeah, it wasn't a super hard hit, but the transmissions are on the back of Lamborghinis, so you can't really get rear-ended without paying a price for it. There was no warnings instantly on the dash. I'm guessing that a transmission line was grabbed on the back of the car. Here and there, I would smell like little bits of transmission fluid in the brake zones, but I assumed it was either coming from a car around me. I wasn't quite sure if it was my car or not. On like the 3rd lap, I got a transmission over temp warning, and that was whenever I knew, like, oh shit, that was me. I knew that the transmission was overheating instantly and that we didn't have much time. As soon as I came into pits and stopped, there was a huge cloud of smoke coming off the car. I looked down out my rear mirror and I just saw plumes of smoke coming out of the rear fender wells. So yeah, I definitely knew that the transmission was gone along with our entire race for Saturday.
Even more time you never had. It's too late, too late, too late, too late. Slide down the rooftop.
strapping those belts as a driver is a really tough feeling, especially whenever there's still cars driving by. Probably one of the worst feelings as a driver, just taking those belts off in the middle of a race. So once I got out, I kind of looked at the car. I was like, damn, kind of looked at the back. It was a little worse than I expected. I saw transmission fluid everywhere and smoke coming off of it. They were already, all the safety crews were already throwing kitty litter down and trying to soak up all the fluid. You know, I felt bad for the team. I felt semi-responsible for what happened, even though I was completely rear-ended. In IMSA, we're supposed to stay in column until after the finish line, but I feel like in a situation like that, you're able to scoot over, you're able to move around. There's no rear view mirrors in the Lamborghini Super Trofeos, so I still feel like there wasn't much I could do, but I'm very upset with the results from this weekend. I definitely wanted to provide the team with something and some hardware for the weekend.
Light as a feather on weekend knees. What on earth did you do to me? I let you in before I knew who you were. Your hair was just golden, 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 and your eyes were also golden, 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 golden. All my dreams are now.
We're gonna take you on a trip in our fake rocket ship. Let's do it, Adrian.